Good everyone, today's video today, it's a request by a sub named OnOff for the Yak-3U. This is also a 2-in-1 because I've never actually flown this aircraft. I've only test flown it. The Yak-3U is basically what happens when a Yak-3 and an LA-7 go and have a one-night stand, and this is what happens. And I tested it in test flight, and it seems to climb pretty well, but that's really the only benefits I could see. It could turn okay, but the fact is that this aircraft is going to be a bit of a struggle, I think. So, the aircraft itself is armed with two B-20S cannons, which are basically rechambered bearers and UB machine guns, as in the 50 cals. And the fact is that I don't think this thing's going to be the best. Now, as you can see, it's currently in my aviation section on my presets because I'm actually not spaying in this aircraft at this time. At the moment, I am spaying in the TU2S44 because I'm going to be throwing both the USSR and the Chinese one in the same review because I can't be asked because they're both the same. But then obviously the 59 will get a separate review when I get around to that. So the Yak-3U has not been flown on my account at this time. It's only been test flown, as I mentioned, and as you can imagine, I'm going straight for belts because, well, Shavaks be whack. I know they're not technically Shavaks, but they have the same belts as Shavaks, so yeah, Shavaks be whack. Don't want to deal with it. So just to help my pain, I suppose, I'm not putting the 150 on. I'm saving that for the T2S. I'm gonna put a 10% booster on just to help me start it. I don't know why I requested it because Harry's told me it's quite bad. From what I've heard, it's okay, but it just doesn't have the armor. What I really meant to say. And additionally, it's stuck in the 5.7 black hole if it has to fight with the Allies, so yeah. But hey, we'll see. But anyway, I'll see you all in the first game. And in typical fashion, 5 seconds after I say that, we get our first game. Typical. So, like I say, I have not touched this aircraft at all. This will be the first flight, which, judging by the fact we're fighting the Japanese, is probably going to be the only flight, because, well, Japanese. Now, the stat card says 4,256 feet per minute. I actually kind of believe that. And looks like we are top dog, which means we're going to have to start pulling out weight. So we actually have the same engine from the LA5FN. So we've got a good bit of power, so to speak. I mean, it's getting up to speed rather nicely. I'm going to give it that. That's the point. So let's see what this thing can do. Alright, well, straight away, climbing out the box is actually not too bad. The Yak-3 normally climbs pretty well, but to be honest, it seems to climb okay. I mean, I said to OnOff, this thing's a piece of crap, and he was like, yeah, that piece of crap. And I was like, I mean, it climbs okay, but it's the guns that limit it. Yes, I'm currently working on the TU2S44 for the Russians and the TU2S59, which obviously I'll do after the 44. Then it'll be this, so there will be a review on this aircraft soon enough. Which means I'll have to fly it more, but I just want the belts, first of all. If I can get the belts out this first flight, that'd be glorious, but I don't know. Yeah, straight out of the box, this thing is incredibly good at climbing. This thing, I actually do believe the stat card to some extent. It does climb rather well, and we're climbing at 20 degrees and it's maintaining speed. So I think a fully spaded Yak-3U should be a fearsome aircraft in the right hands, but it's the armament that limits it. If we had 4 B-20S, or even 3, that would be a bit better. But just 2? Yeah, straight out of the box, I mean, the climb is pretty good. need to check if my guns are split though. No, they're not, because otherwise I'd have to fire with my right mouse button. Because the way it works is if you're firing cannon and you're used to firing aircraft with machine guns, you'd actually just fire, like you wouldn't fire anything if you was flying just a cannon on an aircraft. Because it's technically not a small caliber cannon. On some aircraft that is the way it's set up, but that's on stuff like Dornier 335s. So I checked the armor on this thing. There's only a single plate for the pilot and a single bit of glass in the back. So it should be okay in terms of protection from the rear. It's frontal protection that you're going to lack. And there goes him. And of course, being a LA-5's engine, it does lack a high altitude wear because, well, these things just don't do it. The Russian aircraft are mainly meant for low to medium altitude combat. So I'm just going to level off here because obviously the team is currently baiting down most of the Japanese aircraft. I can already hear one to my right, just above me. That's a bomber of some kind. But I'm not too worried about that for the moment. Yeah, when this thing first came in, it was at 6.3, and I was like, yep, that thing's gonna suck. That thing is gonna suck. Now it's at 5.7, I think I might actually have some decent fun with it. Trouble is, I don't want to descend down low to kill 2 zeros, and then it turns out there's enemy aircraft hidden in the clouds somewhere. Because knowing my luck, that will be the case. So we've already lost 2 planes, both of which were ground pounders. And we haven't killed, well, I mean, one of them jayed out on the runway it seems, but we haven't killed a single Japanese aircraft yet. Obviously, first flight, I want to get used to the aircraft, and I know it has a low rip speed. I don't know though, it's actually, I mean, 480 is not too bad for a Russian aircraft. If anything, that's quite spectacular for a Russian aircraft. I've certainly had better overall dive speeds, but even so, I'm just worried about... Here they come. K-84s, that's going to be a big threat to me. Come on, clear my ass, clear my ass. Come on, Yak-3, I'm baiting him for you. Oh, yeah, just break off, you absolute bellend. Jesus Christ. And this guy's running me down. Of course he is. That means you're spaded then, son. Well, let's see what we can force him to do. Let's see what this thing can do in a dogfight. I don't get why there's such a big boner for my aircraft, because, well, yes, the Yak-3Us are rather rare, but even so. I will say this thing does have some good dive speed, but the fact is, this team is just wanting to fail, it seems. Right. Before Zila jumps in the comment section, I don't fly stuff with B-20Ss anymore. Really? None of those hit? I'm calling total bullshit. Come on. There we go, but Shavak's still be frickin' whack. And the K-84's all over me now. Come on, dude, clear my ass. Nope, you go for the frickin' plane that I've already crit. Fuck's sake, come on. Crit. Got him. Excellent. I will say this thing does have good performance. It's just the guns, they don't do shit. And Shavaks, even though this thing isn't technically a Shavak, will always be whack. Yeah, I don't think I got my... Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have my G tolerance locked out, or like, buffed up in this crew. Okay, you got the elevators. Leaving that, that's his. Kill assist, excellent. Because obviously I scored a crit on him earlier. Yep, you got that 0, beautiful. Not bad. I've certainly flown better birds to stock ground with, but this dude doesn't feel too bad. I mean, the performance is there, it's just the guns that I have a problem with. Last two are bombers. That'll be interesting. We don't have a lot of ammunition left, so I'm going to go and see if I can get myself some ground targets. Because, well, it's quite clear I'm not going to be hunting bombers now, am I? I mean, I could, but that's a ball ache, so... I think it's those GA-N1 Renzans that got recently down-tiered, which I'm actually looking forward to flying that. I've been waiting for that bird for quite some time. Careful, careful. Oh, Jesus Christ, man! Watch where you're flying, you absolute idiot. Yak-3, you're not pulling out that one. Yep. Yeah, I've noticed this thing's only got landing flaps, so... it's not going to be helpful in the dogfight, but... I mean, it worked okay. Ooh, shit, that was close. Right between the bushes there. But, yeah, it doesn't have combat flaps, which is typical of the Yaks. And yeah, back in the day, Yaks used to have combat flaps. They were actually pretty decent with combat flaps. Oh, thanks, Gaijin. Really needed that for my first flight in this fucker. First I've got Spark flipping Shavak, and then you smack me in the oil. Thanks. I was fire the last 10 off. Let's head back to base then. I think the last two guys are Japanese B-17s. Well, one of them's dead now. But yeah, I don't think... Now that I've flown this thing, I don't think it's a pile of crap. It's not the plane. It's the guns. That's the problem. It just doesn't have it just doesn't have the best guns for it. Hopefully that'll improve once I get the belts, because I typically get good results with Shavak with the belts. So you can sort of understand why I was a bit skeptical about this aircraft, but now that I've actually flown the bugger, I actually quite like it. It seems to handle alright. It's just the armament is a bit questionable. And obviously being a Yak, it has no ordnance options of any kind, so it's not exactly the most versatile aircraft, but even so. But on this map, there's a whole tank convoy that you can pop with just the 20 mils anyway, so it's no big deal. It does look weird though, like, you look at it from behind and you would think LA7 sort of look, but you wouldn't think this thing's a Yak unless you looked at the wings. The cockpit's very Yak-like, but... or Yak-3-ish, but it's a very nice looking aircraft. They've done a great job on the model. Oh, there's a gauntlet of Stalin, returning to base. Did he get a kill? No, he didn't. You bring shame to the motherland. Gauntlets of Stalin are meant to get kills, comrade. Just gonna mark that up for the team. Just marking that out for the team, and then I can give them a hand there. I mean, the low altitude performance, as typical with Yaks, is actually pretty good, so that's another positive. Although it looks like the propeller, like the prop hub, is about to fall off this bloody thing. With Russian designing, I wouldn't be surprised. Why is he putting... I don't know what that is, but I just marked it out for you. I mean, this is well, this is an EU server. I can tell you that right now because I have 30 ping. Right, let's land. Well, now that we're back at base, I will see you all when I'm back at the ground targets, which will be either there or there. So, I'll see you then. Well, you joined me back not long after taking off. The last B-17 has just been killed on his own runway because, well, the LA-11 got greedy. Yeah, I'm glad I cut when I did because I didn't realize the brakes on this thing were so powerful, so I technically... I mean, it's not really jingle landing. It's more of a DTT sort of landing. Yeah, not bad first impressions, is all I will say. Because obviously it's the first time me flying the bloody thing. 5k towards the LA200 and the 20mm belts. Okay. Get that and we'll put it into compressor because the engine really wasn't struggling. We'll put armored targets in, ready for when obviously I begin spading it properly. So not a bad first impressions. I thought at first this thing was going to be pretty bad, but it climbs good, it dives good, turns pretty well, and the guns, whilst they're not the greatest, they can still get the job done if you know where to aim. I actually apologise to OnOff for actually calling this thing a piece of shit, because I actually quite like it now, and, well, hopefully it will be better when I start actually spading the bugger. But anyway, I'll see you all on the next one.